Well, hey, parking crew. My name is Eric Clark, one of the guys on staff, and I hope that your week is going really well. You may be wondering why this video. Why am I sending this to you guys? Why is it 15 minutes? Well, I want to explain the why behind this video and going forward the videos that I'm going to be sending to the parking crew. It's my face instead of Craig King because hopefully you've been aware, but if you haven't, Craig King, who used to be over guest services, along with Teresa Reed, who used to do the scheduling. A couple months back, we began a slow transition from Craig's oversight of guest services, with Teresa helping out as admin and scheduling, to my direct oversight of guest services, with Sandy Moore helping do what Teresa did. And we did this in a very strategic, intentional way. The leadership of Stonegate really felt that guest services really fit better, more strategic under kind of the assimilation or connection ministries that I oversaw. And so with with guest services a part of the ministries that I oversee, it's a great kind of first step from the parking lot to the cafe to the auditorium and being greeted, to connecting and then going to next steps and servant lead orientation, and hopefully becoming a full on connected member of our body. And the transition from Craig's leadership to my leadership has um, has actually transitioned, and so it's kind of official. You should have received a video a couple weeks ago, I think, from Craig as a part of that, and hopefully you got a chance to watch that and hear his heart, because our heart for guest services is not just that. Well, his heart and the kind of the baton that I'm taking for him, it's guest services is just not this kind of goofy ministry over on the side. It's integral to what we do here as a faith family, because biblical hospitality, what you and I do every week, we're welcoming the stranger, welcoming people into this place with the hopes that they engage with and interact with and have a life transforming encounter with Jesus that then begins to affect their entire life and their family. And so thank you so much as a parking team for all that you guys do. And so as a result of this transition, one of the things that I felt incredibly sold on doing is to try to talk face to face with as many people as I can. And we are going to do that legitimately face to face. But what I decided to do is to take the four teams of guest services and divide, and the first week is greeters, second week is cafe, third week is ushers, and then fourth week of each month is the parking team. And so what we want to do is each one of those weeks focus on some video communication, talk about some kind of need to knows, and also some big picture kind of whys, the why we do what we do as a guest services team. And so because I was preaching last week and we had staff retreat, everything got condensed. So I apologize for not being able to send this video out last week. But that's kind of the why behind all of this. And so that being said, I want to make clear I'm so thankful for and honored by Hank Hudson and his leadership over the parking lot, and then more recently Bo Moore and kind of how he's come into the mix, and the leadership that they've shown with the parking team. And so in no way am I coming in and saying, hey, this is how it's going to be done. My heartbeat is collaboration. My heartbeat is team. My heartbeat is our kingdom is small compared to God's kingdom, and we're all a part of advancing his kingdom. I want to work side by side with you guys, with Hank and Bo, to see the parking team thrive continually as you guys have been doing, and really just give you guys the tools and equipping and the support to do your work even well. And so I'm so grateful for all that you guys do, and I know you're gonna hear me say that, and it's not cliche, because what you guys do as you guys begin injecting so much life and so much hospitality, and being like living, breathing demonstrations of grace, help, and service through helping people leave our parking lot safely, entering our parking lot safely, and then getting them going in the right direction. Really, we've said it here from the very word go at Stonegate that the sermon begins in the parking lot, and really, you guys do a great job. And again, just want to labor side by side with you guys. You guys have a tough and demanding job. You guys are doing the job that most people don't want to do, being out in the elements, and that's an incredibly high calling and one that I've yet to experience. Now I have experienced the setup and the teardown with Hank and with Nathan Leoma and some other folks, and so man, I get what you guys do to that degree, but I'm so honored to be a part of this. That being said, here's what I want to do. It's hard to keep track with everything that's going on, and so to that end, what I want to do is I want to cover about 6 things with you fairly quick. Instead of giving you a huge 5-page email to read, I want to do it via hopefully a video, somewhat face-to-face. And thank you so much for taking the time to invest in this 15-plus minute video. I know you guys are busy. Your week is full. Who am I to be sending a video? But again, I'm just so grateful that you would sit down and watch a video as we can hopefully have almost like a digital conversation with more conversations and introductions and meetings and conversations to be had in the future. And so the first thing I want to cover is really checking in to when you show up to serve. And if you already are checking in consistently every week, I want to say thank you so much. It's incredibly important. It may not seem, it may be like, why am I doing this? Why do I have to check in? Well, I want to tell you about that. And so for us, the why behind that is those check-in numbers are tallied each week, and so it gives us a picture of who was here and who wasn't. And so really, it's twofold. We want to be able to, if somebody's not been checking in, going forward, we want to be able to give Hank and Bo and some of your other guys maybe some names to follow up, or maybe we want to follow up and just say, how you doing? Is everything all right? Can we serve you? Can we do anything to help you? Are you still in? Do you still want to be a part of the parking ministry? If not, can we help you transition to another ministry area? Or there's a bunch of reasons why knowing who's here and who's not is important. Now, if you come and you serve and you don't check in, where that's going to hinder us is on the second part of why it's important to check in. And that's that we take those check-ins and they are attached to metrics that then our elders at our church look at. We have a concerted kind of a resurgence of looking at metrics, not just for metrics' sake, but to understand kind of the health and the is ministries being staffed well, and if we start campuses going into the future, how many people do we need per campus? And so that's why it's so important for you to check in. And when you show up, every time that you serve, for every hour that you serve, it would be an incredible help to us as your staff and your, by extension, our elders. And so if you don't know how to check in, you can go by the guest services green room. I'm going to talk about that here in a second. Really the best place to check in is by the 2 check-in kiosks just to the left if you're looking at Stonegate, in that kind of transitionary hall back to your guys' parking closet and the guest services green room and the prayer room. Sandy Moore, who's kind of the guest services hybrid, kind of really servant leader coordinator, kind of admin beast that we have. She's going to be there. Some of our greeting team who kind of helps people check in will be there. If you have any reservations of not knowing how to do it, we can give you a key fob, and it's just a scan that and get your check in. And so again, we just want you to know the whys behind that. Just a second. And so we've talked about check-in. The second thing is our guest services green room. And you may not be aware, maybe you are, but the old green room that's right next to your parking closet now is the guest services green room. Worship Tech Arts and production have moved kind of centrally because of Stonegate North, but Stonegate Guest Services now has a green room right there. Man, we'd love for you to come by. It's your green room. We've got snacks and food and water and Gatorade. You can come sit down, take a load off, maybe rest a little bit, get to know people. And enjoy some kind of good snacks. And so we want that to be your room as a guest services teammate. We also have a computer in there that we're going to have going forward where we can help people set up their Planning Center online account. It's the scheduling software that we use. I know some of the parking team use it, some who don't. If you use it and you want to maybe even be more fluent at it, we can streamline invitations, help you set up your account, even also do a little bit of training on Planning Center online. Or if maybe you're like, I was hesitant to use it, but maybe I want to learn how, we can train you there. And so there'll be a computer there as well. So that's kind of our green room. Now, third, here's an important deal. If the sermon starts in the parking lot, something else that starts in the parking lot is safety and security. And so we need your eyes and ears as our parking team to help us look and to determine those things that don't look right, the DLR kind of people issues. And so since we've moved to being an AM church again, we've condensed and packed more people on campus and tighter windows, which you guys are absolutely well aware of, trying to get people in and out in such a condensed time. Thank you again for your servant's heart in that. We need you guys to, and it's not like you guys don't do this. This is more just a reminder of, hey, if it doesn't look right, chances are something's afoot or wrong, or maybe an opportunity for us to serve or help. And that's why, honestly, we've tried to deploy radios to your team. And to be honest, we're in the process of purchasing more radios for guest services, and that includes you guys, increasing the amount of radios that you have, so that if something DLR doesn't look right, you guys can radio in to our gatekeepers and let them know to be on the lookout. Craig and I have been a part of some other places that have this kind of system in place, and it's been invaluable to their guest services and their security. So I just want to let you guys know, wanted to just remind us all about that and your vital role in playing, that role that you're playing in that process of safety and security as well, and how it starts from the parking lot. The fourth thing is Hank wanted me to remind you guys that as the cold weather's approaching, you guys have coveralls in the parking closet that you guys are more than welcome to use. And so just want to keep you guys warm as you guys really do that work that most don't want to do. And so thank you for that. Another thing, fifth, second to last thing I want to talk to you a little bit about is that Hank, in my conversation with him via email, did request more help during the noon hour if you're available and you're interested. And so that noon hour, really across the board church-wide, is that hour where we are most need of servant leaders, and make that hour to serve. And so one last thing, and then I'll let you go. Again, thank you for investing this time in watching this video. One of the things that I'm implementing into guest services is really what I call our guest services plumb lines. And really, plumb lines are nothing more than kind of pithy statements that help us remember the why, or the reason we do the things we do in guest services. And so last month in October, which I wanted to get this video out, but I couldn't, as I explained earlier. The plumb line of the month was making outsiders insiders, and really that plumb line stems out of this idea that anytime anybody comes to a new environment, whether you're going to a friend's family gathering, or you're going into a meeting at work that you don't normally sit in, or you're going into a different town that you're not familiar with, or a different part of the town in which you live in that you're not familiar with, there's always this sense of of just going, man, I feel like an outsider. I don't know where to go. I don't necessarily know what to say. I don't know the insider language. I'm kind of an outsider, and that's a natural thing to feel. And the crazy thing is that every single week there are people who are pulling into our parking lot and walking into our doors, dropping off their kids, and sitting in our seats. As a matter of fact, this past Sunday when I preached, we had 14 first-time visiting families here. It was their first time to come to Stonegate Fellowship. They don't know our language. They don't know where to drop their kids off. They don't know whether or not a cafe costs money or doesn't. And so what we want to do is we want to do whatever we can to make them feel like family, to make them in an appropriate, non-creepy, stalkerish, we don't want to be a stalkerish person in that. And so we want those who are kind of standoffish to be welcomed in, and that really starts from the parking lot in. And so ultimately we want to do is to do whatever we can to be proactive and not reactive, to be enthusiastic, to make eye contact through the windshield, to wave like you guys always do, to smile. I know it's difficult when people won't listen to you guys, when you're trying to just do something that benefits them and everybody else. And so I know it's a difficult thing. When people are getting out of their cars, if people are looking around and they're kind of trying to gather things and they're slower pace and they're kind of meandering, or a really early arrival or really late, chances are they might be a first-time visitor, or somebody who doesn't know where to go. And then what we want to do is we want to help meet their need. We want to pick up on their cues, and we want to help give them clear next steps, clear next direction going forward. And so again, this is not something that you guys aren't doing. It's just a reminder on a monthly basis of this is the reason, the why we do what we do. Because ultimately, people they want to know where to park. I don't know about you, but when I go to a big event or a really big event, for me, I get a little nervous, and just maybe because this is me more than other people, but I want to know where to park. I hate to not know what to do, and so we help them park. We want to help them know where they can drop off their kids. We're going to help them find their seat, and then ultimately we're going to do it in such a way that this is a place that's worth coming back to. And in the end, we do this all so that they can be in front of the good news of the gospel, so that Jesus can transform their hearts and draw them into a thriving, fruitful relationship with Him. And so we labor to make outsiders insiders. Again, thank you for your time. And gals, I don't take it lightly. I'm honored that you would watch this video, and I hope to get to meet you guys more and more. I've met some of you, a lot of you, but I want to meet more and more of you as we kind of serve the Lord together side by side. Look forward to seeing you Sunday. So grateful you guys. Have a great rest of the week. Thanks.